Back at it, back in it. Cody Hooper in the house. You know what it is. It is Read Between the Lines, another episode. UFC 318, Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway, the belly of the beast, Louisiana, New Orleans, Little Wayne walking out the boy. First question I have for you, and then we'll dig into the card. Have you ever been to New Orleans?
I have not been to New Orleans. I've driven through Louisiana though.
First of all, I like how you said that. I feel like you did it purposely because I was saying it the white way. You hit me with New Orleans.
I would never do something like that. Never.
Second thing is, brother, it is a wild place. I've only been once, but I mean, there's no other. Nashville's a hotbed. You got a ton of bars. Austin's the
hmm
same thing. New Orleans is just, if you're not shit-faced 100% of the time, I don't even know why you're there. It is a wild, wild strip of bars.
Yeah,
But
I
big
would end up
fan
in the gutter. I'd end up in the gutter. You'd be like, "Hey, where's Cody?" Oh, he's in the gutter. There we go.
in the gutter. I was smoking black and milds on the street. I was having a damn good time, brother. Uh,
Incredible.
But it is a feel good. It's a feel good moment for Dustin Poirier. The retirement fight. That's kind of the story of the week. Of course, it's a big fight. It's a good fight. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. But of course, the man's going to steal the show because he said this is the last dance. I've heard in the past. You may not believe that if they're offering him a title shot, but his words, not mine. Last dance, a feel good story. And then this fight card in general, I feel like it's sneaky good. I feel like the main card is not necessarily stacked, but throughout the card, it's kind of a hardcore's delight. There's a ton of kind of young up and comers that just like really good fights, like Vinicius, Oliveira, Kyler Phillips, not early prelims,
Featured prelim.
feature bout on the prelim. Yeah, fantastic fight. Even Paulo Costa versus Roman. That's a fantastic fight.
hmm
Um, so I'm looking forward to a lot of these. As far as pay-per-views go, where do you stack this guy? You like it?
I like it as a pay-per-view as a whole. Obviously, the main card's a little bit weak in comparison to what we've become accustomed to as of late, but not every weight division can have a title fight every single pay-per-view. This card is stacked top to bottom. There's multiple people on this card that if they don't get a win, they're going to the PFL or
Uh,
Bellator or something like that. So a little bit of extra pressure. A lot of people on this card need a win.
and I think that includes Mr. Patricio Pitbull, who I'm sure we're going to get to later. But you can't go 0-2, and we got Dan Ige here, 38 years old. I'm a little bit worried, but let's start with the main event. Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway, the retirement fight, fight number three. Dustin's 0-2. Do you think he gets a third one here, or is it a hard walk through the doors back to the locker room for one Dustin Poirier?
It's tough. I haven't officially picked this fight yet. In my notes, I still have both odds. I do have the
Ooh.
over, which I believe is still 3.5 rounds. I'm definitely taking that. Gut
I
call
got the over at 4.5.
a 4.5. So yeah, I looked last week and that was my mistake. Um, the best is
You knew you
blessed.
were starting with this.
I know. It's like, one of
It's
those
a hard one to
cards.
pick. It's a hard one to
You
pick.
don't want to pick against this guy. Everybody loves Max Holloway. Everybody except Conor McGregor and Conor McGregor's dick love Dustin Poirier. But the best is blessed. The best is blessed. I think DP is going down 0-3. It's a sad walk to the locker room. It's sad to pick. I have Max Holloway plus 150 by decision.
I couldn't do it. I'll
It's
take the under Dustin
tough.
Poirier plus 120. These guys are both, and you're right. It's a tough fight. Like, dudes don't usually win their retirement fight, but these guys are in a similar position where they both had, their last fight was a title fight. We're talking about Dustin Poirier, Islam Makhachev. We're talking about Max Holloway, Ilia Topuria. Max got knocked out his last time out. Dustin got submitted. They're in a very similar position. But one thing I'll say is both those guys gave the reigning champs, who are pound for pound number one and number two in the world right now, probably one of their best fights. Like Max Holloway, for the short run that Ilya has had, now at two weight divisions. He was in there for 4 rounds and had a lot of success. Most people aren't making it out of the first or second with
No.
Ilia Topuria. We just saw Charles Oliveira. We saw Volkanovski.
Hmm.
And same thing with Dustin. His fight with Islam was fantastic. A
Oh, it's a
fantastic
banger.
kind of back and forth until it wasn't. So it leaves me feeling like there's still, he's leaving with tread on the tires where a lot of people, I'm trying to think back. The last retirement we saw was probably Anthony Smith and, you know, dead man walking. He's facing a young up and comer I was going to say Yang Wei Li, but it's not. Um, Big Asian guy and got KO'd
Mm,
bad. Uh,
yeah. You want a
and I
do you
just,
want a young J check? That one wasn't that long ago, I guess. I
yeah,
feel like we
she
haven't
got
seen a good
fucking
retirement
spinning
fight.
back fist.
Yeah, she got
The
knocked out
last
quick.
person I remember, I mean, Lauren Murphy last week, if you really want to talk about close ones, but uh, winning, the last guy I remember winning his retirement fight was Robbie Lawler. I mean, it was old man versus old
Yeah.
man, but Robbie had a really fucking good moment. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for
Hmm.
Dustin Poirier. I'm just hoping for a good moment, you know,
Yeah. Dude, it's
and you can
wild.
still have.
Go ahead.
You can still have a good moment in a loss. Like, I don't know if you remember speaking of Max Holloway versus Korean Zombie. KO'd him, and then they had that beautiful moment where they walked out, or when he walked out of the octagon to
Hmm.
whatever it is.
Zombie.
Zombie, yeah.
Yeah, I hope DDP fights well, and it's difficult to pick against DDP walking out or DDP. Dustin Poirier walking out with Lil Wayne in Louisiana, his home state, not that far from his hometown. Just the best is blessed.
The best is blessed. Not for me, brother. I'm riding with Dustin Poirier for one reason and one reason only. First thing, I love him. Second thing, he's liked one of my Instagram posts before. So, we're
Oh,
basically boys.
he's part of the
Hey,
family.
we're basically boys. I'm never in
Yeah.
a pig. Max Holloway hasn't liked shit of mine. So, for as far as I'm concerned, at least this fight week, he can suck my dick. We're riding with DP. Let's have a fucking moment here. Uh,
Let's have one.
but this is like your fighter's favorite fighter. I mean, win or lose, I feel like there's no losing here. I think they both know what the case is. It just should be a good fucking fight. Like their second fight, first fight was Max's debut fight, ended pretty quickly. Dustin Poirier ended up submitting him. Second fight was much more of a war. This was Max's first entry into 155. Dustin ended up taking the decision there. I think Max is filled out. I think he's a true 155er now. We saw it against Justin Gaethje. I think he's in a little bit better shape, but I still believe in DP. We're going to find out right here, right now, who the best boxer in the UFC is.
100%. These boys are definitely gonna chuck them. It's gonna be a fight to remember.
Did you think about it all picking Dustin Poirier by submission? Don't be silly, jump the gilly. I
I
wonder what
did
that is.
not. I did not think about that, but that's not terrible. What I
Let me
had
see
been,
it.
the odds for
Plus
that.
1200. Come on, give me plus 1200 for a guillotine, boy.
What I have been thinking about is if Dustin does win this fight. I know Dana, for whatever reason, has a little bit of reservations about Justin Gaethje fighting for the title. He just won't make that fight. I don't. I mean, if I'm Dustin Poirier, I take the title fight, But
I don't think they're going to if they're not giving it to Gaethje, I don't think they're going to give it to Poirier. I
yeah,
mean, a one fight win streak. Patty's there. They already kind of made that fight. Even so, Armin's there if you're like looking for next up. Um, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
Poirier could, sit on his feet and then later come back and just be like, "Oh, I'm back." And I could see that sliding into a title fight, but I don't know. Feels like he's
Yeah,
done. I'm going to believe him.
yep. Well, you only get your last fight twice, apparently, because the last fight was supposed to be his last fight, and now this one's his last fight. You can only do that twice. Tom Brady, shout out.
Oh, every fighter does it 100 times, including John Jones, who is back. We'll talk about him later. Uh, Paulo Costa, Roman Kopylov. Paulo Costa is kind of in a weird spot. He's lost two straight. Last one being to Sean Strickland was a, not a great showing. Roman Kopylov is just got done with a last second head kick over Chris Curtis before that. Lost to Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. I just don't know where Paulo Costa's at. And I expect this to be a stand-up fight. Uh, and Roman is fucking nasty. His kicks are gross. He hits hard. I'm a big fan of the guy. I'm a big time rider. Right now, we got the odds at plus 195, minus 238 towards Roman. How do you see this fight playing out? Where do you think Paulo Costa's at in his career?
He's in like a weird kind of two. I can't remember how that Robert Fat Frost poem goes. I'm a UFC fan, so obviously I don't know poetry. The two rows diverged in some wood. I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
Um,
nailed it.
he's in a weird spot. I'm surprised this fight is gonna happen because Paulo Costa loves canceling fights. Like if him and Hamzat were supposed to fight, that fight would never ever happen because it would get canceled 1,000 times. I do like Paulo Costa in this fight only because he needs a win. I don't know where his
Yeah.
contract's at, but I also don't remember off the top of my head when he won a meaningful fight. The last fight he won was against Luke Rockhold and he lost the third round.
Yeah.
So he's in a really weird spot. I like Paulo Costa by KO TKO plus 550. The dude still hits hard no matter how tired he's gonna be. If he can get it done early, I like that. But I will take Paulo Costa by straight up plus 195.
Yeah, if you just look at who they fought, I mean, this feels like it's a pretty big step up for Roman Kopylov. Like Chris Curtis, I mean, Chris Curtis just dropped down to 170. He's not even at 185 anymore, and he was never really kind of fighting in that hardcore high end of that. Uh, I just don't know where Polo's at. I feel like Izzy broke him when he lost that fight to Izzy. He's won. He's lost three of four fights after that. That's going to be, you know, Robert Whitaker, Sean Strickland, and Marvin Vittori. Again, the only fight he won was Luke Rockhold, who I think that was a retirement fight as well. I know he ended up fighting BKFC and shit like that, but I just don't know where he's at. I don't know where his head's at, and I'm a believer in Roman Kopylov, so I've got him by decision plus 100.
Yeah, it's not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick. I almost went that way, and then I looked and I was like, wait, Paul Costa hasn't won a fight. I don't know how many fights left he has on his deal, but if he wants another one, he needs to win fights. You can't lose fights and get another deal.
And this was rescheduled, by the way. So he did
Oh,
halfway cancel. It was supposed to be last week, or not last week, maybe last week.
you're right. This did get
It was,
rescheduled.
yeah. I listened to an interview with him on the Ariel Hawani show earlier today. He had the flu, so
Oh, of
take that
course he
for
did.
what you want.
Okay. Yeah, the Colombian flu, I'm sure.
Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez. This is how you kind of know that the main card's struggling a little bit. Again, I think this is a pretty solid card, but for this to be the third, I mean, after Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier, there's a pretty big drop off. Uh, Kevin Holland, again, I think this is his fourth fight of the year. He's a fucking madman. And Daniel Rodriguez is coming off of much needed knockout over Santiago Ponzinibbio.
Hmm.
Kevin Holland coming off of a win. Who did he just beat? I should know this, but I don't.
I don't have that one in my notes. I just know he won one and he wants to fight 6 times this year.
Well, he's on his way. Kevin Holland just beat. Don't tell me. I'm looking at it. The internet's slow. He just beat Vicente Luque.
Oh yeah. That
Submission
was like
second round.
2 months, last month, 2 months ago,
I mean, he's an insane man. That was June 7th. So that's
a month,
a month and a
last
couple
month.
days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
this would be his fourth fight of the year, and we're in the middle of July. The
That's
guy's a
fucking
psycho.
insane.
He's staying active. But this feels like a winnable fight for him. Daniel
100%.
Rodriguez, he's had his ups and downs in the UFC. He is kind of at the level in which I feel like Kevin Holland typically wins these fights, like Vicente Luque, before that, a Gunnar Nelson. He lost to like Rainier Day Ritter,
Yep.
who is looking like he's a level above, also at 185. But if you're fighting 170, Kevin Holland has shown up and looked pretty fucking good. Daniel Rodriguez is a little bit older in his career, had a lot of wars. I got Holland. I'm actually just taking the over here because I think Holland's pretty big favorite. If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, he's
Minus
minus
five.
535 right now.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't mind the overpick there. I have Holland by decision plus 240. I don't really see an aspect in combat sports in which Kevin Holland shouldn't be the favorite here.
Mm,
I mean, Kevin Holland is more skilled on the feet. He can wrestle better. His jujitsu's better. I mean, maybe Daniel Rodriguez makes me look stupid, but I don't see it. And I don't see Kevin Holland getting a knockout. I just have him by decision plus 240.
yeah, I actually like your pick better because my pick is Kevin Holland. I was just looking for money on it. So if you can get plus 240 by decision, that's pretty solid because that's what my over pick is, hope, assuming a decision. Um,
And more or less.
and now Dan Ige, Patricio Pitbull. Dan Ige coming off of a massive knockout against Sean Woodson, St. Louis's own. Uh, and he's had some very competitive fights as of recently. We kind of think of Dan Ige as this old man, only 33 when you're looking at him compared to Patricio Pitbull's 38 years old. He's actually the young gun in this fight, which is surprising. Before Sean Woodson, he had a competitive fight with Lerone Murphy and a competitive fight with Diego Lopez, who Lerone's undefeated. Diego Lopez just fought for the title. These are like top end guys, and they
Hmm.
were competitive decisions. I just, from what I've seen of Patricio Pitbull, I haven't been impressed. And at 38 years old, with Dan Ige, who I know is a tough guy, a vet in his own right, I think it's going to be another tough fight for Patricio Pitbull, and the odds say so as well. Minus 218, Dan Ige, plus 180. Do you think he gets back on the right track, Patricio
I
Pitbull, or is this tough sledding for the boy again?
I think it's tough sledding. I didn't see really any upside in his last fight. I understand Yair Rodriguez can be a difficult puzzle to figure out. A lot of
Yeah.
interesting movement and incredibly skilled in his striking and versatility of strikes. So, I mean, to give him a little bit of benefit there, but I mean, it's Dan fucking Ige, dude. It's 50K.
50K, baby.
I don't see Danny Gay necessarily pushing for a finish here. A win here does solid enough work for him to keep climbing in the rankings. And Patricio Pitbull I mean, he was a legend, back in Bellator or PFL, whatever the fuck, who cares? Um, I think Patricio Pitbull thought he was something that he used to be. I have Dean Ige here plus 110 by decision. I don't think the fight's particularly close. 3 rounds could be to the benefit of Dan Ige because he can just fucking chuck him all he wants and doesn't have to really worry about getting tired per se.
Yeah.
I don't see Patricio really making any solid progress in this fight.
I've got the exact same pick, decision plus 110. Um, Patricia's shown to be tough. I think decision is probably the right call. Maybe a big blow lands, but I think decision is probably the right call there. Now we got old man versus young guy. Those were two vets, two old guys. We got Daniel Del Huber coming off of his last fight was damn near a year ago in the
Hmm.
Sphere. Esteban Rijovic fight. I think it won, may very well won fight of the year. A fucking war. Him and Esteban Rijovic, young guy, just 26, against Michael Johnson, who's 39 years old, but coming off of a pretty nice KO's last time out. Still tread on the tires for Michael Johnson, or are we looking at a boy getting fed to the young bucks here?
I mean, he definitely. So Michael Johnson is a true blue like American wrestler as it comes. This fight's very interesting. Because Daniel also can scrap and wrestle a little bit. Obviously not to the level of Michael Johnson, at least when it comes to wrestling knowledge and things like that. This
Yeah,
fight reminds me a little bit of the Peyton Talbot fight when he fought that Brazilian
Tiny
dude.
Barcelos.
Thank you. It reminds me a little bit of that. It's a young guy who loves to stand and bang and, brawl, and incredibly talented young fighter. Uh, I just, 39's fucking old, dude.
There's a 13-year age gap here.
Yeah, you're a recent member of the 29 age club. We're fucking old. He's way fucking older than us. So I see Daniel getting this dub here. I have him KO or KO TKO plus 150. I think Michael tries to make some things happen late, tail end of his career. Daniel catches him. I don't think this one goes the distance.
Yeah, that's kind of how I looked at this too. I thought coming off that KO victory, he might be a little bit more aggressive than maybe he needs to be. I got the exact same pick, KO plus 150 for Daniel Zellhuber. Um, it just is the age gap is huge. Zellhuber's a massive guy, and you know
Yeah,
the
I think
KO
he
his last time out felt pretty good.
It did. I think Daniel matches skills fairly well for somebody who's so young and not necessarily from strictly wrestling background. The dude can wrestle a little bit, and Michael Johnson can't do a ton of else other than wrestle. I mean, he knocked out a couple guys in his very illustrious career. Been in the game a long time. I just don't see this fight going his way. It just doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense to me.
Kyler Phillips, Vinicius. That's the main card, by the way.
Yes.
Main card done. Picks in. There's a lot of other fights on this card that I like. I'd love to hear your take on some of these fights as well. I mean, you look at the prelims. This is why
Hmm.
I think this card is so good because top to bottom, I think there's a lot of interesting fights. Even if you go as far down as, the early prelims, you're getting Bruno Ferreira, Jackson McKeevy. I think the first three male fights, the over under is 1.5. Like these are expected to be finishes, and I can
Hmm.
see it. Bruno Ferreira, big heavy hitter. Ryan Spann, the same thing. Jimmy Crute, uh, all the above. We also have Francisco. Like there's just a lot of heavy hitters on this bottom side of the card. Vinicius, Oliveira, Kyler Phillips. Actually, I feel like has some pretty high stakes to it
Hmm.
just in the way that the bantamweight division is set up right now. I mean, we're looking at a bantamweight division that Marab has absolutely cleared out. Just ran through Sean O'Malley for the second time. Beat Piotr Jan. He's got a new matchup with Corey Sandhagen that's supposedly coming up, but we're looking at Piotr Jan fighting back against Marcus McGee. That's how kind of messy this division is. They're looking for new contenders. And
Hmm.
Kyler Phillips, Vinicius Oliveira, I feel like are in that same boat as like a Marcus McGee, where they're right at the back end of that top 15. And, one big fight, one big win here, one statement could propel them right to the top. Kyler Phillips coming off of a loss to Rob Font. Vinicius Oliveira, he's put together three in a row. Uh, Interesting matchup. Vinicius Oliveira is a fucking wild boy. He just
He's
kind of chucks from
fucking
the hips.
wild.
A wild boy. He just chucks from the hips, hands down. He's a fucking psycho, but he's good at putting the pace, always on the front foot. Kyler Phillips, on the other hand, he's super crispy boxer. He's got some good wrestling in there. He knows what he's doing. In the Rob Font fight, his gas tank kind of got exposed, but he had a relatively good fight. Other than that, like first
Mhm.
round and a half, he was really piecing up Rob Font until we got the y'all must have forgot that everybody knows how to Rob Font. Uh, interesting matchup. I don't know if you picked this fight or not, but how do you see this one going?
Yeah, I have picks a little bit on down this card as well. This is, in my opinion, probably the second most exciting fight on this card. I just because I
I
think
love
the
this
other,
fight.
yeah, just because I think the other fights besides obviously Max Holloway and Poirier, I think the other fights are pretty clear, gonna go one way. And this fight could go fucking either way because Kyler Phillips is a psycho in his own fucking right.
Yeah,
Loves to brawl, incredibly crispy boxing, like you said. I have to go Oliveira here because I've never seen somebody walk down Ricky Simone for 3 rounds. That dude is a fucking
literally insane.
psychopath. Ricky
Literally insane.
Simone puts people to sleep for literally for a living. Ricky Simone's a psycho in his own right. Kind of seems like he's falling off here a little bit. a lot older than a lot of people think. I think he's 33, 34. I thought he was in his late 20s. But I have Oliveira here by KO, plus 150. Yeah, plus 150 KO TKO. Um, yeah, I just fucking love this fight, man. It's exciting as hell. Kyler Phillips, I will give Kyler his flowers. He does look a lot better every time he steps into the ring, but this dude is like an axe murderer who he's fighting. I'm
Yeah.
very, very excited for this one.
I'm actually going to give him his flowers right here because I'm going to take him plus 124. And I love Vinicius
Ooh.
Oliveira. I just think the crispiness of Kyler Phillips might get Vinicius in trouble. Like you said, he walks with his hands down, reckless abandon. And the Ricky Simone fight to do that is fucking insane. But at some point, I feel like that's going to cost you. And I think Kyler Phillips just might be crispy enough to do it. We saw in the Saeed Nurmagomedov fight with Vinicius Oliveira kind of a level of grappling that he hadn't shown previously. He didn't do a ton with it, but he's got it. I think Kyler does hold that advantage, though. Um, I just think he's cleaner. I think a loss for Vinicius right here doesn't really, I mean, this is him entering the top 15, doesn't do a lot. I think he'll be right back at it. I think he's so fucking wild. Would I be surprised if he
Wow.
won? Not at all. But when I look at him, just technically speaking, I'm like, how the fuck is he not gotten checked yet?
I don't
Especially
know.
against Ricky Simone and things like that. So I'm gonna pick Kyler here plus 124. I just, you know, if I can get him at plus money, I like it. I think in my mind he probably should be the favorite, uh, but
Yeah. I don't know what
not the
these lines
case.
opened up at, but I think, dude, once people watch Oliveira just walk down a guy like Ricky Simone,
It's
I can't pick against him until he gets knocked out because he will eventually. You can't walk at people with your hands down. You're a
yeah,
Prohaska. Always used to be a hands down guy. Got slept, at least started to kind of put his hands up. But this guy obviously a lot younger and a super hyped prospect. I'm excited to see this fight.
wow, boy, I fucking love him.
Oh,
Uh,
fucking wild boy.
I fucking love him. Marvin Vittori, Brendan Allen. This is a really fucking like as not sexy as it is, Marvin Vettori, I think, is just the biggest blockhead of all time. I think it's a really interesting fight. First of all, these guys fought in the Hard Rock.
Mm-hmm.
These
I
guys
don't
fought in the
remember that.
Hard Rock lobby not too long ago. So they got some bad blood. I haven't seen it show up. I'm sure we'll see it come come face-offs and things like that, but they don't like each other. And I think they both kind of do the same thing. Like Brendan Allen wants to take you to the ground and work you there. But Marvin Vittori in his own right's a good wrestler, and he's just such a fucking block. We
Mm-hmm.
saw Brandon Allen kind of get exposed by Anthony Fluffy Hernandez a little bit. Not maybe exposed is the wrong word there, but uh, I don't know. I don't even know what to pick here. I need your insight. I need your help.
Yeah, first off, what a fall from grace from Marvin. I remember when he fought Izzy for the title, what seems like not that long ago, a couple years ago. It just has been not exciting and but just solid ever since. But this is another weird spot where Brendan Allen needs a win. Like he
Yeah,
hasn't looked great. This should like theoretically this is a winnable fight. But I just don't really see it going that way. Marvin's really hard to knock out. He's hard to
impossible to knock out.
yeah, hard to take down. He's just you said it so perfectly. He literally is just a cinder block of a person. He's just a
Yeah.
large man. He'll punch you in the leg. Shut up the Izzy fight. Um, I just don't see Brendan Allen being able to get this one done. I kind of hope he does because he needs a win. But I mean, give me Marvin plus 170.
Yeah. I think if Brendan's going to win, he's probably just going to out volume Marvin on the feet.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that happen in the past. I mean, Brendan's not a great striker, though. That's the thing. Not that he's a bad one, but he's not. That's not his bread and butter. But he's much bigger, much longer. I think he might just be able to keep Marvin on the end of some punches and just out volume him. But you're right. He does need a win.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna skip a fight here unless you don't want me to.
No, please do.
Ateba Gautier. Do you know the guy? A
I'm
fucking
slightly familiar with this
monster.
game. The dude is a
A
monster.
fucking monster. Uh, fucking just jacked out of his mind. Put on a really impressive performance that UFC Fight Pass won't let me watch because they're a bag of fucking shit.
Bag of dicks.
Do you have UFC Fight Pass?
No, I just use I have a jailbroke Fire Stick, so I can just watch whatever I want whenever I want for free.
I might need to do that because they're fucking causing me a lot of problems over here. Uh,
I got a guy, I got you.
he's got, last fight out, showed a lot of patience. He hits so fucking hard. KO'd the fuck out of some little Mexican kid. I can't remember his name, but nasty. Robert Valentine on the other end, he's I actually was pretty hyped. He's coming off of he was on The Ultimate Fighter a
Hmm.
couple years back, and he has some nasty. He had a really nasty elbow knockout, but he's had some tough matchups in the UFC. First one was the tough finale. He fought fuck, I don't remember his name, doesn't really matter, but
Mm-mm.
he's fought back-to-back wrestlers. The other guy was a fucking big block boy Finney. He shouldn't This should be his first matchup in the UFC that's not against a glorified wrestler. Ateba, we saw him in the Contender Series. He doesn't That's not his bread and butter. He wants to knock you out. He showed a lot of patience the last time, but I think this may be a better scrap than the odds give it. Although I still think Adeba's going to win because goddamn, does he look good?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more there. I think this is definitely going to be a closer fight than plus 300, minus 475, or that's the wrong odds, minus 370, plus 250. I do like Ateba, but I'm worried that his patience could get him in some trouble here. Valentine can chuck the knucks. And I mean,
Yeah.
the only person that's really thriving by, really using patience right now it just happens to be a boy at flyweight, old Josh Van. But
Oh, babe.
Josh Van also has incredible ability to slip strikes, and I haven't seen that from out of his game. I do like him by knockout. I don't have that one written down.
Valentin or Ateba?
Ateba.
We're looking at by
Oh,
knockout
that's
minus
minus
250.
250. So I'm probably just not gonna gamble on this fight because that's
I
not
don't have any lines on this. I just wanted to talk
great.
about it because I fucking love that fight.
Yeah, he's another psycho, dude. There's some young psychos that are rising up that I'm really excited about.
Yeah. Was there any other fight on this card that you really wanted to talk about?
Um, I think Jimmy Crew is gonna lose and retire. Because he tried to retire after his last loss. He's fighting
Martin
Martin.
Pacino.
Don't know who that is. I don't really think it matters. I just assume Marcin knows how to fight and Jimmy Crew does not.
Uh,
Um, Another running for just a cinder block of a human being. I just don't really see Jimmy Crute winning another fight in the UFC. His chin's gone, lack of skills. I think he retires or goes to the PFL, whatever the fuck he does. I think he's done.
yeah. Well, that's our fights for UFC 318. Now let's talk about the most pressing piece of news that came out this week. How about Conor McGregor's cock, brother? Did
Yeah,
you did you lay eyes
wild.
on that?
I didn't lay eyes on it unblurred, thank God.
I
I've
never
been kind of,
saw it. I just
yeah,
know that it happened.
I've been staying off Twitter because I know it's on there, and I'm just like, I don't want to see McGregor's cock. Absolutely wild, man. So basically, everybody in the UFC circles, or even us who pay attention to the UFC, know he cheats on his wife all the fucking time. Just lost a sexual assault case. Just to be
Yeah.
shooting off dick pics to somebody potentially more famous than you is absolutely wild.
He has had a wild week in the news because, of course, cockpits, cheating, and then follow that with I'm making my return to the White House. He's such a fucking psycho, that guy. Apparently, he's back in the testing pool, confirmed by BKFC owner, whatever his name is, David something or another. Um, but back in the testing pool, wants to fight at the White House.
Yeah, that would be
He
awesome.
released that right after he posted a picture of his cock.
Yeah, I mean, you got to try and do something to keep your cock out of the news. I just assume Conor McGregor doesn't have the largest cock in the world, so I mean, Unless you got a thing on you like Drake, you probably want to try and keep your dick out of the news. I don't know if they test for cocaine in the pool, but I hope not for his sake. Cocaine's a hell of a drug, and Conor McGregor can buy all of it.
John
So,
Jones got away with it for plenty of years, so I think he may be good in that sense. Uh, Also said he re-entered the testing pool. Mr. Johnny Jones
yes, the
coming
greatest
back,
fighter of
wants
all
to fight at
time.
the White House. This House card is getting a lot of buzz. It seems like it's coming to fruition, or at least the UFC is gonna. It seems like it's gonna happen. And it seems like they want to make it pretty fucking massive. I'm excited to see how it plays out, and if they can get John Jones and Conor McGregor back on a card like that, like that's fucking insane, insane.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much they would have to pay McGregor for him to actually fight. I don't even know if he wants to fight Michael Chandler. I don't even know if McGregor can fight anymore. Like he
Yeah,
could still fight, and then he broke his leg, and that was like what, 3 years ago?
yeah. I think it was 2021, maybe
Well,
20.
yeah,
Yeah, 2021.
maybe 4 years ago. I don't know. He could still fight then. Um, I mean, you have to find the right opponent that's gonna get McGregor to actually fight, and you're gonna have to pay him. I don't know, between him and John Jones, you're gonna have to pay like 50 or 60 million, and that's for two fights. So
It
like,
seems like an impossible task, but also on the other hand, it's like I feel like if you're John Jones is fucked. He has way too many fights on his contract. But if you're Conor McGregor, there's so much money you can make outside of the UFC in your own promotion at BKFC, any sort of, name a fucking boxer. You can make hundreds of millions of dollars where testing is going to be, very subpar because heads up, you're going to be the promoter.
mhm.
Uh, I think he just needs to find a way to string together two fights so he can get out. And, you know, hopefully he can get it done because I don't know. I'd like to see him one more time, at least to see what happens.
Are there only two fights left on his deal?
Only two fights.
Yeah, I mean, you literally are costing yourself by not getting those two
Hundreds of
fights
millions.
done. He probably cost himself close to $500 million. Jeez, I mean, he could have fought Jake Paul like 4 times, and those are
Yeah.
checks.
Yeah. Well, we are
Yeah,
out of time, less than a minute here, but a fucking pleasure. You
always.
goddamn know I love you. And when you come on here, we always have a good time. UFC 318 this weekend. Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway. Should be a banger. Our picks are mostly aligned, except for the main event. I'm a real rider. You praying on the downfall of Louisiana for the blessed one.
Hey, you do love writing dudes. I'll give you that. But it's
Yeah.
always it's always a pleasure. Peace out. Thank you.
Peace, brother.